Well, both teams fighting for a place in Europe, as are Manchester United. And on Sunday, they travel to Nottingham Forest, who are fighting to stay in the division. Let's hear from Erik Ten Hag, but first, Steve Cooper.
Erik, I know it's not been long, but do you know any more about Martinez or Varane or any of the players who missed last night?
Sorry, no, it's not even 24 hours, so I don't have a complete diagnosis, so I can't tell in this moment.
You already said that Varane and Martinez won't play this weekend, so how much faith do you have in Maguire and how much faith do you have in Lindelof?
Well, a lot. I think they have decent centre halves, and they proved in the past. They proved this season. I think we have 4 or 5 very good centre halves, so who can do the job.
Simon Page.
Are there any players that you think will be available tomorrow that were perhaps missing? A McTominay or a Luke Shaw, perhaps?
For Sunday? Yeah, could be. But we have to see. We have now 2 sessions to go, training. So I don't know by now, but can be that Scott and Luke return in the squad, but not sure.
Obviously, a lot happened last night, and a lot of the post-match was focused on the injuries and the way it ended. Kind of got overlooked how well Anthony Martial started, held up the ball and things. Were you pleased with his performance?
Oh, I think when you see first half, I think we were in a really good shape. Aaron Wan-Bissaka played very well. Anthony Dos Santos played very well. Marcel Sabitzer played really well. Bruno played very good, and Anton Martial as well. Of course, also Rafa and Dicha. So there were many positives about yesterday's game.
Richard.
Erik, how difficult is it for you as manager at this stage of the season? You've got 11 games for sure that you've still got to play, possibly 13, 14 in space of 7 or 8 weeks. You've got injuries to deal with as well. Is there any way in which you can rotate the squad, or do you just have to go with what you've got each game?
We have depth in the squad. We have to use the squad. So that's also what we did yesterday. In the meantime, you have to win games. So also you need a tactical approach to win the games. But I think we have good players, and when we have problems, so injuries, suspension, we have depth in the squad.
Can I ask your thoughts on Nottingham Forest as well? I mean, you've played them 3 times, including the League Cup already this season, but they've obviously got plenty to play for as well. They're not going to lie down for you.
I think what place they are, and we know what we can expect on Sunday. They are in the survival mode, and they will run for their lives. So we have to be ready for that game.
Thank you.
Samuel.
With Martial having played so well last night, have you got an idea of when he will be able to complete 90 minutes? Because it has been a while since he finished a game.
So maybe he can, but it's a risk, and we can't take that risk in this moment because we don't have so many options in the front line with Rashford injured, with Garnacho injured. We don't have so many options there. We have to be careful, and also in individual prospect we know when there's coming a lot of load, then he gets injured. So we have to build it, and especially when the game's coming quick after each other, the recovery time is less. We have to take that also in mind. We have to manage that very, very good and very careful.
And I know, at the risk of looking ahead to next week, that Harry Maguire is suspended for the Brighton game. Is that going to have a bearing on your selection for the upcoming games, and that you may not be able to risk certain players who will definitely be available for Brighton?
Oh, we have to take that in mind as well, of course. We know that Harry is suspended, but it's good. I think he played very good against Everton yesterday. He came in, for me also very good. And the coming games, it's up to him. But around, we have to take that in mind that he is suspended for the game against Brighton.
James.
Eric, there were some claims from Argentina, I don't know if they're correct, that Martinez might have been a broken metatarsal in his foot. Is there any truth in that?
I can't say in this moment. When we have news, we will give it straight to you. But let's do the medical, do their assessment, that fully diagnose, complete diagnose, and then we will give the news. But yeah, I think it doesn't change in this moment.
But you've no idea about what it might be?
Yes, I have an idea, but I don't go in speculation.
Rob. Rob.
Eric, I'm sorry.
Both Rob.
We've got to give more, and that's where we're at. You know, we are. We had a long wait since Villa to this game on the weekend. Still a couple of days, but it's one that I know that the guys are determined to do well in, and that's all we can do is prepare as best we can, and like I said, really back ourselves to give everything we can to get the result that we all want, everybody wants.
Well, in this crucial part of the season, Manchester United have lost some of their most important players to injury. Marcus Rashford, possibly out for still another couple of games in their Europa League tie last night against Sevilla. They also lost Lisandro Martinez, who has been such a key player for them, and that looks like it's going to be a long-term injury. How worrying is this for Man United?
It's worrying as far as I'm concerned, because they failed to win 3 of their last 4 away games. At home, they've been terrific. I
25 unbeaten at Old Trafford now.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic run going back to Sociedad in October. But I think as far as away from home is concerned, I give Nottingham Forest a squeak in this game for precisely that reason. I don't know how they're going to set up. They go to Sevilla next week. On paper, you would say that they've got the better players, but again, Sevilla at home will fancy their chances. They've won this 6 out of the last 10 years, and I just think that these injuries could derail their season, because the goal they conceded in the Europa League on Thursday night, I don't think they concede it if either Varane or Martinez are playing because of their authority. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Varane, Martinez become very, very influential for them, haven't they? Harry Maguire's not been playing as much, so the pressure's back on him. We know he's had a lot of criticism, so he possibly will feel that more than if he'd been playing on a regular basis. I think the substitutions against Sevilla, 60th minute, taking off your key men, probably cost them that game. So on the positive side for Man United, those guys will be fresh. I think he took off Bruno, Martial, and I can't remember the other one was, but it's Anthony, that's it. So if these guys are a bit fresher, it's probably not great for Nottingham Forest.
See, the thing is, if I'm, and I was watching on Thursday night, and I come in here, stats and numbers. I looked at Maguire and I just thought, this guy just cannot catch a break. You know, he tries for his life and he's working incredibly hard. He can do nothing about the header that comes in, ricochets off his head and goes into the back of the net. What he's got to just keep doing is play his way through it. Eventually, he will get through this nightmare run of form. But there is a good player there, and maybe his confidence will start to come back. I just fear that he might get targeted by more pacey players who will take advantage of the fact that he isn't the quickest, and that's why I think the next couple of games could be quite tough for him.
Can I ask from a defensive perspective as well, the sort of mental impact that it has on, say, if, for example, Martinez and Varane are both out for the next few games, having a different pairing at centre-half, what's going through your mind at that point if you're the player to come in? Does it put extra pressure on you?
If they've been doing well, then 100%, yeah. Centre-back partnerships are so important, and you get used to playing with certain players because you know where they're going to be, where you need to be, and it's the same with the centre-back and full-back. But I think an experienced player like Harry Maguire, an international, he would have been preparing right for that moment to come. And if his mindset is right, I'm going to grab this opportunity, he'll be absolutely fine. And I think with the number of games that he's played, the experience that he's got, I think he'll be okay. Because
it's a bit like pundit.
The more games you play, the more punditry you do, the more stats you know.
There you
go.
go.
A bit of work to do on that front.
Let's talk about Man United's goal scoring as well, because we saw Anthony Martial. Everyone was wondering who was going to step up in Marcus Rashford's absence. He didn't score last night, but he was absolutely brilliant in the 63 minutes that he played.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Sabitz has scored a goal, and he'll be key as well. They've got Eriksson, who knows where the goal is as well. But Martial, he's taken his opportunity. He looks hungry. He looks sharp. He looks focused. And the confidence looks to be coming back. I mean, listen, 28 goals for Marcus Rashford. He could probably score if his eyes were closed and his hands were tied behind his back and his legs were tied together. He's that confident. But I think as far as Martial is concerned, there was enough against Sevilla to suggest that he is somebody who's going to take responsibility. Anthony wants to be able to take responsibility as well. I'd like to maybe see Anthony cut out some of the histrionics and some of the, scrapes that he gets into, because when he focuses, there's a real player there. But I think there is the personnel to maybe step up and take advantage and possibly shoot United's way out of defensive trouble.
Well, Nottingham Forest may see this as an opportunity, actually, Zesh, with all the injuries that Manchester United are facing at the moment, to get some points, especially at home, because their home versus away record in the Premier League, there's a stark contrast, and they've been very good at home.
Yeah, it's a tough ground to go to as well. Nottingham Forest, obviously a lot of history there. But if they can stay in the game, so can make a good start, keep a clean sheet for as long as possible, then I think they can score a goal. If they concede an early goal, then I do fear, because I believe the defensive record is not great. So it's about, you're at home, yeah, I get that, but staying in the game for as long as you can, getting a solid base, and then relying on, your more attacking players to come up trumps for you.
Does it feel like Forest are a team that have run out of steam for you, Darren? Because they're not won in their last 9 matches now. Does it look inevitable for them?
Not really. I've always said this fight against relegation is one giant game of snakes and ladders, and it really does depend on who plays where on what week. As we've seen from the graphic, at home, Forest are strong. They've conceded half the goals that they've conceded away from home. If the fixtures fall their way, they could yet get out of it. Even Southampton, they don't look great, but they're not cut adrift. I think this fight against relegation could go to the final couple of weeks.
OK,